He'll be in a Showtime special this fall called Escape from Dannemore, produced by Ben Stiller. It's on Showtime. I think it's either a 4 or 7 part series. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome please Corey Kinsella.
So how are we all doing tonight, IBU? Tomorrow's Christmas. It's practically here. We're actually at the halfway point. And I'll tell you right now, I've never seen a place produce this much garbage. The other night I was rummaging around out back through the dumpster. I could hang myself with all the horrible Christmas neckties I found. All of you stupid hillcoos coming all around from North Syracuse. You guys think that you're so clever living out here. Little do you know. You guys are just about as miserable as me. I'm not the one with the heart. Now, just the other day, I was sitting in my lair and some crazy pet detective barged in and stole my dog Max, claiming that I abused him on Christmas Eve. Well, you know what, Mr. Grinch? The things that I saw you do to that dog were ungodly, horribly traumatizing, and, in fact, totally unforgivable. The only thing that you did not do to that dog was set him on fire. Oh. Did somebody say fire? No, I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking that this building is totally safe. But you're wrong. Suppose, for the sake of argument, that you're dancing around. You're just having a groovy grand old time. You're drinking, you're having some drinks. You're gonna drive home later on, probably get pulled over. But just let's say, for the sake of argument, that some crazy guy gets up on stage and proceeds to start drinking gasoline, like so. You know, you should try it sometimes. You can light your farts without even using a lighter. Hello, everybody. I know that you are just as wise as all of me and everything in my conscience. And that proves, furthermore, that Fire Marshal Bill Burns talks like a man with a paper asshole. If you do not know what that means, I suggest you get on Google and type in talking like a man with a paper asshole. And I took notes from Andy Dufresne, and I crawled through 500 yards of shit known as North Syracuse to get here tonight to this shithole known as IBU. But if Andy Dufresne taught me one thing, he taught me to just check behind the stone wall known as that building next door that hasn't been opened in 5 years. And that's right, folks. Speaking of shitholes, I, Donald J. Trump, I personally have met the biggest shithole of all time, known as Alec Baldwin, whose failing, mediocre career was frankly replenished and revived by his just horrible impression of me on that shit show Saturday Night Live. Alec Baldwin is a mouse. Wow, Donald, I'm honestly surprised that you didn't talk about my own personal shithole, known as my hometown in Kenya.
Yes.
And little do you know, not many people know this, but Kenya is referring to Kenya, Hawaii. It's true. You can even look it up on Google Earth. There's Kenya, Hawaii, and that's where I'm from. I do have a birth certificate to prove so, but you don't need to see it. Well, now I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking that Barack Obama is supposed to be one of the greatest Democratic presidents of all time. But that Democratic president is me. The one who had sex with Marilyn Monroe and managed to get away with it. Yeah. Remember Bill Clinton with Monica Lewinsky, Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels. I was the only president who managed to get away with it. And I grabbed her right by the snatch. But don't you worry, folks. In 57 years, your new president will replace that word with another choice word. Yeah, and then 17 years before that, your president's going to condone flying 2 Boeing 737s into the country's tallest skyscrapers.
And they're going to convince the citizens that it was terrorizers. You know, the big ones, where you can put a 6'6" guy who's on dialysis in the mountains and you can't find him for 5 years. You know, I'm sure you've seen this whole routine before. About 9.5, 10 years ago. And then I know there's an old saying, it comes from Texas, but I'm sure it's up here in New York. There's an old saying, it goes, fool me once, I'll screw this country up. And that's it.
Caution! Earlier today, President Trump ripped one of the loudest farts that Carl Patzer has never even seen before. I know Carl suddenly likes to brag about how proud he is of his farts, but the president ripped a louder one. As a matter of fact, he was incredibly honored to be here with me, Bill O'Reilly, and let me be the first one to get a good, strong whiff of it straight out of the president's asshole.
Now, speaking of assholes, have you seen Charles Barkley? Have you seen Chuck? He's like a Carmelo Anthony. He has no rings. He has no idea what he's doing. He thinks he's a big dog, but when the big dogs fall hard. He's much like Chuck, and Kenny the Jet Smith has more rings than you. And one of my rings, I have so many rings. And Chuck, no, quiet Chuck, you have no idea what you're talking about. One of my rings I actually use as a cock ring. My wife loves it. She's about 4'11".
Now shut up, Shaq. I don't care how many rings you have. I will bench press you. I will make you look like a little girly girl. You will be nothing without Kobe Bryant and Dwayne Wade. Just like how I would be nothing without the gym, and my muscles, and my movies, and the chopper. Ow, Arnold, you're talking to my Shaq all wrong. That's the wrong tone. You do it again, I'll smash you over the head with a dumbbell from your own gym. And you're not gonna like that, because I, Christopher Walken, am capable of being a very angry man, like a big lion with his big bang. Well, there you go again, Christopher. My fellow Americans, I am back, bigger and better and more alive than ever before. As you all know, I am here to be the voice for you, the American people. I was the one who had my biggest claim to fame take place on June 12, 1987, where I so famously said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. I've been brought back from the dead to the year 2018 to fulfill one of my biggest dreams of all time. That dream being able to look head to toe and stare Donald Trump in the eyes and say, Mr. President, build that wall. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Corey Kinsella. I hope you enjoyed that. That's, for those who don't know, that's called multiple personality disorder. It's true. It's true. Enjoy the rest of the night, folks. Couple more laps next, and they're better than that. Let's hope.